Ma'am,
Yes.
we are coming where we are very doubt on how to do the practical.
That only I am telling.
Okay.
Previous class you watched?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where we
Do we have
stopped?
to write it?
Tell me.
Ma'am, do we have to write it in directly the practical file?
Yeah. Directly to the practical file. What I am telling. One class is over. Practical ka. You must have watched it. Now I'm continuing that. That is, we stopped at dilute H2SO4 test. उसमें कार्बोनेट सल्फाइड sulfite, nitrite, and acetate. 5 acid radicals with a dilute H2SO4. उसका identification test we identify. Suppose you get any indication in these 5, any indication you are getting, for example, carbonate, brisk effervescence if you are getting, then you have to do its confirmatory test. If you are not getting brisk effervescence, don't go for the confirmatory test. Second, if you are getting rotten egg smell, that is sulfide is present, then go for its confirmatory test. If you are not getting, don't go for the confirmatory test. If you are getting a gas turns, pungent smelling gas, sulfur dioxide is pungent smelling. Pungent smelling gas that turns potassium dichromate paper green. That means a sulfite SO3 2 minus is present. Then go for its confirmatory test. How can you check the presence of that sulfur dioxide formed? You pass through KMnO4 solution. Violet color KMnO4 will get decolorized. If you are getting reddish brown on addition of this dilute H2SO4, then nitrite NO2 minus. If you are, suppose these 4 you are not getting, then you take little salt with your these 2 fingers, take pinch amount of salt, right? Or you just touch your fingers in acetic acid. Fourth number bottle, acetic acid. Acetic acid में touch करके, then you take using the same finger, you take pinch amount of salt and rub it, then smell it. If you are getting vinegar-like smell, that means your salt contains acetate. Means acetate, for example, it may be lead acetate plus dilute acetic acid. It will give a vinegar-like smell. So to get that smell, you can just cut your these 2 fingers in that dilute acetic acid. Sorry, dilute H2SO4. Dilute H2SO4. So this is an H2SO4 test. Dilute H2SO4 में touch करना. Then you take the salt. Salt contains acetate. Then you rub it and smell. So if you are getting the smell of acetic acid, that is vinegar. If you are getting the smell of acetic acid, then you can say that your salt contains, for example, your salt may be lead acid. Your salt contains lead acid plus dilute H2SO. Dilute H2SO. Dilute H2SO. Dilute H2SO is bottle number 1. Bottle number 1. Bottle number 1. So touch your fingers in dilute H2SO. Then take pinch amount of, with the same fingers, you take pinch amount of lead acetate, rub it, and then you smell it. If you are getting vinegar-like smell, that means your salt contains, your salt contains acid. Okay. Once you get this identification test, then you can go for the confirmatory test. Suppose you are getting that brisk effervescence, then what you have to do? Pass this gas, that brisk effervescent gas, through lime water. If the lime water turns milky, experiment, observation, inference. So confirmatory test for that first we are adding dilute H2SO4. So you have 5 acid radicals in that dilute H2SO4. One is carbonate, that you will be getting brisk effervescence. One is sulfide, you will be getting rotten smell. And one is sulfite, that means you will be getting pungent smelling gas, which turns potassium dichromate paper green. Potassium dichromate paper means you take a filter paper and dip in potassium dichromate and show them on the test. Then, if you are getting reddish brown papers, nitrite. If you are getting vinegar-like smell, then acid. So, suppose you got some information. One information you may get. Sometimes you won't get any information, then you have to go for the next test. Okay. So, confirmatory test. Confirmatory test for these category acid carbonate, sulfite, nitrite, acetate. So, confirmatory test. Number 1. Above gas is passed through above gas is passed through lime water. So here lime water turns me lime water turns milk. That means carbonate is confirmed. CO3 2 minus is confirmed. 3 columns, you have to write 3 columns only. Systematically, you have to present in your paper in 3 columns: experiment, observation, inference. Number 2. What is number 2? Sulfide. Sulfide. If it is sulfide, means if you are getting rotten smell when you pass this dilute H2SO4 into your test tube with the salt. If you are getting that rotten smell, that means you are identifying sulfide as 2 minus. So you do the confirmatory test for that. For that, OSS, ordinary salt solution plus acetic acid, and lead acetate plus lead acetate. Lead acetate. If you are getting a black precipitate, black precipitate of lead sulfide, actually, black precipitate, then S2 minus is suppose you haven't got the sulfide with the dilute H2SO4. Instead, you got sulfite, that is pungent smelling gas which turns pressure dichromate into green. Then you are going for the confirmatory test for the sulfite. For that, OSS plus dilute H2SO4. plus, you know that violet KMnO4 solution. KMnO4 solution. You have to take dilute. Don't take very concentrated KMnO4 solution. Very dilute, very slight pink color. KMnO4 solution. Versus dilute H2SO4 KMnO4 solution. So what happens on adding the color of KMnO4, that is pink color, disappears. Pink color disappears. Pink color disappears. That means SO3 minus sulfide. Sulfide. Now what else? Nitrite. For nitrite, voices plus acetic acid. Acetic acid plus FeSO4 solution. FeSO4 solution. Then dark brown color. Dark brown color. Then nitrite is controlled. And the fifth one, that is acetate. For acetate, what you are going to do, you do with alcohol. Alcohol and concentrated H2SO4. You are getting fruity smell of ester. That means acetate is sulfate. So number 5. Number 5. Oasis plus concentrated H2SO4. 1 or 2 drops. 2 drops of concentrated H2SO4. Plus, we have taken acetate. So we have to add what? Alcohol. Ethyl alcohol. You know that alcohol plus that acetate. Alcohol plus that acetic acid. In presence of concentrated H2SO4. Concentrated H2SO4 is a dehydrating agent. It will remove that water and ester will be formed. Ethyl acetate. Heat. So pleasant fruity smell. Pleasant fruity smell. Fruity smell of ester. That means CH3COO minus is CH3 COO minus is converted. So that is the first category with the dilute H2SO4. So with the dilute H2SO4, 5 acid radical, 5 acid radical. First is carbonate, you will be getting brisker persons. Next is sulfide, you will get rotten smell. Then pungent smell for sulfide, means pungent smell is due to the evolution of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a reducing agent. It changes potassium dichromate into green color, Cr3+. So potassium dichromate paper green. So then next is reddish brown vapors. Reddish brown vapors of reddish brown vapors. Then nitrite. nitrite NO2 minus. Then what? Then you have to do for acetate. With the dilute H2SO4, you touch your fingers in dilute H2SO4 and take pinch amount of salt, rub it. You'll be getting the smell of acetic acid. That is vinegar-like smell. So that is acetate. If you are getting any of those five, then go for its confirmatory test. Stop there for acid radical. You can start your. Suppose you are not getting any identification test. Don't do this confirmation test. If you are not getting any of this identification test, then don't do this confirmatory test. You can pass after identification test. Suppose you are not getting brisk effervescence, you are not getting that rotten smell, you are not getting pungent smelling gas, you are not getting reddish brown gas, you are not getting that vinegar-like smell, then use write no characteristic observation. Means original salt plus dilute H2SO4, no characteristic observation. Absent salt, so and so. Now you are passing to concentrated H2SO4. So the next test is concentrated H2SO4. First is preliminary. First is preliminary. Second is dilute H2SO4. Third is concentrated H2SO4. Third is concentrated H2SO4. Now you take salt, add concentrated H2SO4 and heat. With the dilute H2SO4, don't heat. With the concentrated H2SO4, so number 3, concentrated. Identification test, confirmatory test. First you identify. If you are getting any indication, then go for its confirmatory test. So salt plus concentrated H2SO4 and heat. Now, gas that becomes dense white fumes with the glass or dipped in ammonium nitrate. You'll be getting slight amount of gas. You may say slight amount of vapors, white vapors. But if you dip a glass in ammonium hydroxide and show at the mouth of this test tube, then that slight gas becomes dense white fumes. First you get slight gas, then will be that is HCl, that is volatile gas. So you will be getting light white vapors. And if you are getting a light vapors, then what you do? Take a glass, dip in ammonium hydroxide, and show at the mouth of this. That means ammonia will react with the HCl to form ammonium chloride. So that is thick, dense white fluids. What you do? You will be getting gas that becomes dense white. Gas that becomes dense white with a glass for dipped in ammonium hydroxide. With glass rod dipped in ammonium hydroxide. Gas that becomes dense white, the glass rod dipped in ammonium hydroxide. Then the Cl minus is this. Cl minus is this. Instead, if you are getting, when you did this thing, suppose reddish brown vapors are coming. This is A. This is B. Reddish brown vapors. Reddish brown vapors. Then we are minus is this, if you are doubting the vinegar-like smell, what is vinegar-like smell? Some of you know what is the smell of vinegar. The chomin smell. If you are not, if you don't know what is vinegar-like smell, take fourth number bottle, open it and smell it. In that acetic acid is kept. That acetic acid is kept. Bottle number 4, acetic acid. Next, violet vapors. Violet vapors. This I minus is I minus is. Suppose you are not getting this gas, nothing, reddish brown vapors, you are not getting violet vapors, you are not getting. Then, what you have to do? Take a paper ball or copper turnings. Either a paper ball or copper turnings means small piece of copper wire ka a small piece, very small piece of copper wire. Copper turnings we say very small piece of copper wire or copper metal. So what you have to do? To this salt concentrates to sulfur heat, you add this paper ball. You know what is paper ball? I have shown what is a paper ball. Or you can add one copper turnings. So this test is called paper ball test or copper turnings test. So when you add this paper ball, copious evolution of reddish brown vapors. So D copious evolution means thick evolution. Copious evolution of reddish brown vapors. Reddish brown vapors with a paper ball. With a paper ball or copper turnings. With a paper ball or copper turnings. Copper turnings. Without adding this paper ball, if you are getting reddish brown vapors, wrong. By adding paper ball, you are getting thick reddish brown vapors, then nitrate. NO3 minus NO3 minus this. Sometimes you get very light reddish brown vapors, and on adding this, that reddish brown vapors you cannot be able to identify. You are doubting. So in that case, you add a paper ball, and if you are getting copious evolution, very high amount, thick dense Thick, dense, reddish brown fumes. That means nitrate is. Then you are not getting anything. Suppose you are getting brisk forces even after removing from the heat. Even after removing from the heat, if you are getting brisk forces, then oxalate is. So E. Brisk forces even after the removal of the test tube on the heat. Brisk forces. Brisk versions even after removal of the test tube from the flame. Then oxalate means C2 minus C2 minus. Oxalate is Suppose you are getting any test here, then we will be going for the confirmatory test for this. Confirmatory test. So now preliminary examination is over. Dilute H2SO4 test, no indication. Then consider H2SO4 test. Suppose you got any one of this observation, then you will be going for its confirmatory test. Confirmatory test for these as a confirmatory. Confirmatory tests of these aspects. Confirmatory test for these aspects. First one is what? Chloride. That chloride, bromide, iodide, we can do silver nitrate test. Dilute HNO3 and silver nitrate. So, A. OSS plus dilute HNO3 plus silver nitrate, AgNO3. If it is curdy white precipitate, chloride, pale yellow precipitate, curdy white precipitate which is soluble in NH4OH, Cl minus, then pale yellow precipitate which is partially soluble in NH4OH, bromide, yellow precipitate which is insoluble in NH4OH, iodide. That we'll be doing.